Today, we're going to test the front speakers on my 2011 Ford Escape. They sound a little bad. Let's get to it. You can obviously hear that. So let's get started on seeing what we got going here. And we'll play that track once we get new speakers in the front. So we got some speakers that I ordered off of Amazon. Actually, my wife got them for my birthday. And they are the JVC CS J6930s. I got them 2 sets off Amazon. For the Ford Escape, they're supposed to be 6x9 speakers. We got the 6x9s. They come with a cover, which these will be inside the door, so they're three-way speakers. And when you're doing speakers, you got to make sure your polarity is correct. The right is positive, the left is negative, and we'll have to figure that out when we do the car if the old speakers are going to have the right polarity on them. Be doing the passenger's door first, since that's the one that's there for the biggest noise problem there. We got one screw here at the bottom, one screw here, and up front is going to be a screw right there. 3 screws in the door for now. We got the 3 screws out. In here we got a little plastic thing there, and we got a screw here. We're going to put all of our parts up here. It's going to be a little tricky. There's a little plastic thing here we can pull out. Let's just get right out. Now we expose this Torx bit. We'll grab it, right size, take it out. It is a T30. It's a little bit tough to get out, but we'll get her out. Let's try to get underneath it here. Try to get the snaps off. Yep. There's one here. Pull this off. Comes off like that. That's all there is to it. Skins off. First thing, there's a little cable here. We're gonna pull it out. That's done. Right here is where the cable goes in, and it slides right in there. So the first cable of the 2 on the passenger side, there's a little tab right here. You have to push down, and it pulls out. And then you have your control box for your switches. Same thing, it's got a little tab. Oh. That's at least for the window control. And then your panel is off. And here's our speaker. Okay, we got a 6mm here. We'll take the 4 screws out for 6mm. All right, so we got the screws out, and here is the wire. Now, as I was afraid of, you'll see here that I'm not really sure which is positive and which is negative. All right, so I took the old speakers apart. You can hear there's a little bit of funny noise, but here's our problem. We got some cracks going on here. See? That's why we're getting noise. Speaker shot. Just old. Had the car for 14 years. plug the window back in. Just make sure the speaker clears glass. This could be a problem. Here's our problem. From the back of the factory speaker to the back of the magnet's 1 5/8, and the new speaker is 2 7/8. So we've got some problems here. So if I measure out to the back of the bracket here, it is exactly, I'm sorry, from the window to the bracket is exactly 3 inches. So it's going to be tight. So I made a template. Of the speaker, and I just used a piece of paper on the speaker. You can see where I held it down. Just took a pencil and got the template speaker, and it looks like I have plenty of space at the bottom of the hole, and I can cut the hole bigger up here and it shouldn't interfere. Kind of held this here. The door seems to be flat. It's just that this rubber here flexes. So we traced around our template, or we're gonna have to get a jigsaw. We're gonna have to cut our hole that much bigger. There's nothing seems to be in the way. Peel this back a little bit, see if there's any holes for 6x9s. It doesn't seem to be. We have a trouble mounting, but we'll figure it out. We'll get some nuts and bolts. We'll get it in there somehow or another. Okay, so our problem here is this is about 3/8, and I was thinking about pulling it out, but it looks like it might be glued to the speaker, so we're gonna have to shim about 3/8 back here so that the glass can get by the magnet. That'd give us about 1/8 inch off the glass, so hopefully that'll work out. We get door panel back on. So we're going to test the polarity on here. As I was saying before, I thought the negative was on the left. So when I plugged it in, that would have been a purple wire. I thought it was gray. So after I get a 12-volt battery, and it turned out that the left-hand side is positive, because when you test it, you get a AA battery. We'll put the positive on the positive side of the battery and the negative on the negative. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can see that speaker jumping up. And if you reverse the polarity, the speaker will go down. Hopefully you can see that. So when we cut our wires, we know that purple is positive and red is negative. So another thing I did too was I took and cut out the plastic out of this thing because it was out about 1/2 inch, and I kind of notched this a little bit. Shouldn't affect nothing. I'm hoping to get some more room. Seems like this is off about 1/2 inch. It's going to be really tight, but we're going to try to make it work. So what we're going to do is we're going to start the car up. We're going to put the window open so we can cut the hole out. The remote start here. Back in. We don't want to break the window while we're cutting it. We put the positive on the purple wire, and we're going to try to solder this sucker. All right. Remote start, that's nice to have it. Let's figure out how to get these mounted now. Let's see if the door handle works. Right. Listen closely. I'm hitting it. Just barely, but it fit. Okay, the only difference is on the driver's side, you have to pull this off. Sorry. And you have to take the motor off. We're just gonna do this tonight. I took a big break. I've got some different things at Lowe's, and also I'm going to, I got some spacers and stuff. So take this one off the driver's side, and it's pretty much the same otherwise. One more thing I want to point out is I cut a little bit off of this. It wouldn't go any farther than where this clip is here. Oh, it's hard to see, sorry. And then I also have been going through and cutting this flap off with a utility knife. Just squirt once, and then your knife blade will go right through it. You can see right here. Since I'm shimming out a 1/2 inch, that's what I did on the other door. The other door I did 3/8, and it's hitting a little bit. So I went and got some big 1/2 inch washers, or actually nuts. I used 1/2 inch nuts, so to shim it out a little bit farther, so hopefully the window won't hit it. And then if this works, I'll go take the other door off and put nuts on it too. But that's the only mistakes that I've seen. There is one more mistake, another surgery issue. I'll show you that here when I go cut to the other hole. Done, it should look something like this. Right above the ripples. Thinking about cutting that one because I don't know, you can't get too much on it. So here's the other thing you gotta be careful of. If you see there, you don't want to cut too close to this. And be careful cutting this with scissors because that's your lock. And when I was cutting it, I felt some resistance, and I kind of squeezed the scissors and car locked. But I put the panel back on and tested it. Working fine. So you want to make sure you kind of stay away from that lip. Wish it was solid more. But I ended up getting too closely on the other side, but I made it work. My template up, you can see this is a better explanation of it. Don't know why, it just didn't have a little bit more metal in there. But you got to make sure that your screw and you don't cut, because We don't want to cut this bar right here. You see where I cut it all the way around. Circle. There are 10 steps to do it. Keep filling, make sure you don't cut any wires or anything. Don't leave your metal shavings in the grass. Now I wish somebody would have told me that I should have read that 6x9s don't fit in here. So check my holes where I'm drilled real quick here. Good drill bit. Put it in there just like that. Make sure your window's up before you do this. Plug in our soldering gun, get it warmed up so we can cut this off. Solder them wires together again. It should look like that. You start screwing it in. I'm just using that for a shim. Panel on and check the window, and this one cleared it. I put the cover on, but I forgot to caulk it, so I caulked around the speaker, hoping that makes it more boxy sound. I did it on the other side too, just painter's caulk. Okay, recap. 6 hours to do the right speaker, passenger side front speaker, and it took about 2.5 hours to do the left speaker. Lessons learned. I got to repair the one speaker on the right because I needed to shim it out a 1/2 inch from the door. So the window scraping, I'll fix that tomorrow. Left side's working great. Cutting the hole, make sure you didn't cut the hole, off that bracket. And otherwise, you could order 6x8s. I found out halfway through that you needed 6x8 speakers from Ford. So, just wasn't that bad of a deal. Thanks for watching.